Hello people, and welcome back to episode 14 of the Cities Skylines build guide. And this graphical glitch is still going on. I don't know what's causing this. Seems to be emanating from our biomass pellet plant. It just fires off into the hill over there. Super weird. Anyone knows what that is, let me know. I don't know, probably some of the mods conflict with one another. But today what I wanted to work on was tidying up this horrendous area right here. Also want to do a little bit of work further on our university campus. We will hit the next level after this semester. And then I also wanted to try and add in a little bit of stuff onto the island here today as well. I think we're going to add in our prison here. And make this something of a little kind of mini Alcatraz. I think that'd be quite cool. So let's go ahead and kind of map out with some road networks what exactly I want to happen here. So I'm thinking maybe a roundabout, not sure. Let's kind of draw out what I'm thinking first. So I want to have the medium industry road, and we're going to kind of map out an area here that's going to contain our garbage processing stuff. So we're going to have one main road up here, and then I want to grab the one-way road. Let's go ahead and bring this out, probably up to about it's about there would be a sensible direction. That was 540. There we go. Okay, actually no. I'll tell you what we are going to do. We're going to keep these relatively square. And then what I do want to do, so what we will need to do before we do that actually, is begin to empty all of these out if we want to delete them. We will have to have them going away. It's probably going to give us some pretty insane garbage issues, but again we will be able to cope with that. So this area is going to serve as where all of the city's garbage is processed. Okay, so let's come out by a little bit more. And then probably from about there. Should allow us to get on in back to back. Yes, it does. Wonderful. Okay. So you can kind of see what I'm going for here. Let's bring this up to the edge up here. And then so the road is behaving very strangely there. There we go, that's what we want anyway. Pretty sure we should be able to get some more in here. Then we can't actually block too far away, but there's nothing to worry about. We can always amend that. So this side here is going to be filled with garbage dumps. And then what I'm going to do is, let's say, we're going to have the other side of this main road to be incinerator plants and recycling centres. Which is going to continually clear out the garbage from the garbage dumps. So I'm just going to come out by 5. Take a look around. That is not the right shape. I don't know what that was. Let's have a little 210. That was it, wasn't it? Is that what I did? There you go, that looks a little bit better. Okay, and then from here. So the reason we're using one-way roads is just to keep the flow of traffic going. Because obviously if they're all trying to reverse on each other, it's going to create a bit of a backlog. So as they enter this area, they're going to be funneled into the one-way system. And then in and around to the various buildings that they're trying to get to. Okay, well that's for right now. This isn't going to be the main connection. I'm just going to draw this right up to here, just so at least these can start to serve some kind of purpose. But I do want to make a bit of a fancier entrance and exit out of this. I'm also going to give them direct highway access down here, so they don't have to head through here and then onto there and just clog up this junction. There's going to be a smaller highway interchange just down here. Okay. So let's carry on placing our garbage plants. I don't know why I call it garbage, actually. It isn't garbage, it's rubbish. It's quite an Americanism of me to say that. I do apologise for my British viewers that might be offended by that. Let's come ahead and bring this guy up, and then right behind, which is what we want to do here. And then you can kind of just keep expanding this pattern as you see fit. Let's have another one up here. And then we can just come up to the edge, and then up and around there. And obviously, you know, you just keep expanding it and whatnot. So this is going to be, right now, let's have a look at our garbage processing status. We're like well in the green. But don't forget, it will drop down when we do delete these. These will become obsolete, and we'll start to tidy this area up, because right now it's become, in the first episode of this I wanted to make a bit of a feature out of this little abandoned lighthouse, but it has become an absolute toxic dumping ground, which we need to amend, which is hopefully what we can do today. I also add in a bit of a power section around here as well, which will be continually upgraded until we hit the nuclear power stuff. Okay, so let's duplicate it exactly the same side by 330, so just double checking what I need there. From this point to this point is 330, so I know that I'm going to have the same distance between the road and there for this one. Let's come right up to the top. And then for this side, I do want my incineration plants to sit along here. So I'll have 3 in for right now. And then we'll go ahead and relocate the recycling centres to over here as well. Now this is obviously quite an expensive project to undertake, because you're kind of placing so many new expensive industrious buildings, but you will manage to compensate for that eventually. Okay, so the recycling centre does actually fit in quite nicely over here. And then as they come out of the garbage dumps, they're going to be able to come straight down into the recycling centres and actually drop them off there, so that's going to work rather nicely. Now you'll notice that elsewhere in the city we do have some other recycling centres, such as right here. We are going to a bit of traffic backing up here. That is not healthy for the mind. Need to sort that out. We do have a couple of recycling centres here. Now that's just to service kind of what is a larger area, but these guys will remain kind of the service for the entire map once we've got this all set up. Okay, so is there anything else over here we can move? This guy's emptying out, as is this guy. There's an incineration plant here that doesn't need to be there. Let's bring him over to here. So you can imagine all the garbage trucks coming out of here now are going to become quite numerous. And then these guys are going to need to flow onto the highway to get to different parts of the map, such as over here. There's another one down here. Let's bring him over. There we go. And you can get quite a nice little industrial feel and pattern going when you do eventually kind of build this area up, especially with, you know, these new industrial roads that came with the Industries DLC. And you've got kind of these high walls of the actual garbage dump itself lining the sidewalk, which looks pretty sweet in the end. We do have a bit of a crime issue over here apparently. These guys should have plenty of coverage. Maybe that one's placed a little bit too close together. Maybe we can relocate that. Over here maybe. There must be a space we can drop him in. I think probably over there, because there's no need to be that close together. That should resolve any crime issues that pop up. Okay, let's check our processing status right now. So we are well in the green, and we have 7% landfill usage. And then when these guys are ready, we can delete them. Okay, so let's focus on our power right now. So the best power plant we have unlocked is the hydro. Oh, sorry, no. Well, we do have the geothermal and the solar updraft tower. Now obviously you can see the power outputs in the bottom right of the little layover there, which is in the green power output 240 megawatts. That's going to cost us 2,240 per week though, so you can kind of see how they scale when you're deciding on what power is best for your city. This one is only producing 80 megawatts, but it's basically half, if just a little under, of the solar updraft tower. But if you're looking at the power output, it's exactly triple. So you kind of need to adjust kind of the bang for your buck here, really, as to what's best. The hydropower plant is a dam. Now, I don't really want to dam any of the rivers in here. We don't really have a particular place that would work for a dam. Maybe here. We could dam the lake. That might be quite cool. We do have a little bit of... if I can pop into Freeview here, you can see there we have a little bit of a downward flow. That would be a really good place to dam. I think we'll actually do that. And then what that'll do is just help us to create more electricity via hydro. Obviously the two basic oil and coal power plants as well. So right now we only have a budget of, that seems to be bouncing around kind of various different things, 2,000, 3,000 to 5,000. There's different services and policies taking effect. So for right now, to go ahead and spend money on something like the solar updraft tower, which looks really cool. These things are pretty epic looking. Would be pretty irresponsible, and the power we're producing right now is actually fine for what we need. So I'm going to go ahead and actually grab another industrial road here. Now I do want to leave room for a highway connection here somewhere, and we'll decide on where that's going to go. But for right now, what I do want to do is bring up just a normal road, just like this. Let's go for about there. And then we'll have this as a one-way. And then we'll also have a one-way flow into our power section right here. So let's go ahead and grab some of the power plants. I think I'm going to go ahead and delete the coal. We don't really need those anymore. Now that is probably going to cripple our power production. Maybe no, we're okay for right now. I'm going to go for oil for right now, but as these begin to upgrade and we unlock new power plants, we can just switch these out for nuclear, which we will eventually be doing. Okay, I think that's all of them, is it? I think that's all of the power buildings. Obviously we've got some of the wind farms over here for decoration. Yeah, okay, so for right now let's pause the game because the city has just lost power. And I'm going to go ahead and actually hook this guy up. There's no need to actually hook this place up from here anymore. So we can go ahead and delete those. And then let's have a little look-see here. Where would be a good place to hook this guy up? Let's just bring him across for right now. We will find a better place than that eventually to actually hook these guys up. Over here and here seems like a good shout. And then I should probably leave these guys in for right now. Don't worry about your temporary power lines, they are literally just temporary. But we will end up making kind of a little bit of a transformer point for right now. Everyone has power again. Just double check all those nasty icons have disappeared, and they have. Fantastic. So here we have our two oil power plants, and that's giving us, yeah, more than enough power for what we need right now. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this. Let's go up to there. Now, right now, this kind of just looks a little bit boring. So what I'm going to do is do a little bit of decoration with some of the warehouse props that we have. So if we grab a warehouse, we have a small warehouse we can drop in. A medium, which actually looks quite cool. It's just kind of building on that industrial feel. Also, we can set him a resource to fill up with. Let's go with oil products right now. It seems suitable considering that he is actually producing oil. And then let's go ahead into our oil fields here. I'm going to grab the oil industry fence, and then I'm going to go ahead and bring this down like this. Right, of course, this is a fairly high-tech zone. Well, not high-tech, rather. High security is what I mean to say. And I'm going to bring this all the way up to the bridge. And I don't want any trees in here. This has been specifically registered to be a power industry area, so let's clear out any kind of natural thing. It's all been flattened and made into concrete. Okay, so already we've got a little bit more of an important feel right now as people drive up and along this road. So happening, we do have a little bit of a death wave happening right now. There's a couple of death symbols hovering around. Going over here, these guys are pretty sorted for healthcare. Yes, they are. In fact, this guy's finished emptying, so that's why they are struggling. You can start to refill. How are our landfill sites doing? 23 and 37% full. And once these guys are gone, we can also expand this farm area a little bit, which will be nice. Okay, so how am I feeling about this? So within your unique building stuff, if you come along to the modder packs, obviously you need to have the relevant modded pack for these. These can be found on the Steam workshop, sorry, just on the Steam store, not the workshop. And there's kind of various different really cool high-tech industrial looking buildings you can place down here. I'm not going to place them right now. I'm going to wait till we're a little bit richer. Actually, maybe we could just squeeze one in. Just so I can show you guys. That might be nice. So they don't particularly serve any purpose, and what they actually do is attract kind of visitors and entertainment value. And obviously it's not really what you want people to be coming to this area for, but they do kind of look very industrious and high tech. Now when you're pairing these and stuff like the nanotechnology center and the research center, you can make a really cool looking kind of nuclear complex area out of this. It's what we did towards the end of Fremwood, and it's what I want to do here as well. So speaking of power lines, we can do something pretty nifty with them themselves. So I'm going to come ahead and draw in a couple of dirt roads here now, and these aren't going to go anywhere. But what I am going to do is go ahead. Now if you are playing with mods, then of course you can make this concrete. Obviously I am not, so I'm just going to use sand for right now. Just kind of make a little bit of a sanded out area. And then actually wonder, let me just double check this for a moment, if any of the park tiles would be appropriate for this. Yeah, actually, you know what, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let me go ahead and do this off camera, because this is going to take me a while to line all these up. And we'll probably pop it into a little time lapse actually. Let's make sure there's no other better ones. That one's made out of wood. I don't think that'd be really ideal. And then the amusement park one is pretty colourful if I remember. Yeah, we don't really want that. Okay, give me a moment guys. Let's go ahead and do this. Okay, so that's kind of achieved the idea I was going for here. So I'm going to go ahead now and grab in some more fence. Again, this is just our regular oil entry fence that we have here. And I'm going to paint this up to the edge. Let's actually make sure we can get it along this road first. I'm going to leave a little gap just about here. Again, yeah, this isn't necessary. This is really just kind of, this is the detailing aspect of this tutorial let's play, of what you can do to make these things look a little more interesting. Now, I wonder if we can actually get in a little bit of a dirt path here. Up to about there. And just delete those ones that are really quite janky. And then just come back in and replace them out. Into there. So again, playing with the prop snapping mod will make your life a lot easier if you decide to do this. Then what I'm going to do is come ahead and grab in our power lines like this. So I'm going to bring these guys up. I want snapping to be on. And I'm just going to draw out a couple of lines like this. So if you've ever driven past or kind of walked past maybe an actual real life power station in real life, obviously, you'll notice they have these huge enormous pylons right next to the transformers that actually carry the electricity out to various different points across the city. So that's kind of what I'm trying to replicate here. So let's bring these guys right down. So obviously this side of the map is turning into a pretty heavy industrial area right now. We're going to have them connect up and then over the bridge. Obviously everything we have linked up power wise is already connected, but you know, you can kind of pretend that these are functional. In their day-to-day activities. Okay. Super. So I think we're going to have to go ahead and connect this up here and delete these ones. That should be okay. Okay. So already this place is looking pretty fancy. I'm pretty happy with that, has to be said. Now I wonder what we can do with this place just over here. Oh, our Ferry Depot is complaining of no power. Probably move him as well, to be honest, at some point. Maybe over here actually would be a good spot for the ferries. They can get under this bridge. Well, no, they can't. They do clip through it, but that's an issue we can solve later on, I think. Okay, let's kind of have a little look at what we can do here. So I'm thinking maybe we can do something with train lines, actually. So how's that look? It's not too bad. Just bring down to our smallest elevation step. Now these will obviously be dead end trains. They're not going to go anywhere. I think kind of the whole point of this is just to almost pretend that what we're building is functional. So I'm just kind of going for a couple of stacked rail lines here. And we're going to go ahead and bring a road. It's a little too close for what I want to do. And then we can have a road like that. This place does have water. I think I'm just going to go ahead and zone in some very small industrial zoning around these tracks, just to give them the illusion that they are actually working for these zoning areas around them. So let's go ahead and draw in some more fencing. So just really take it really slowly with your detailing, and will help you get the right feel for your industrial areas. And already, so you can imagine if you're just placing your power plants alongside a road and leaving it like that, you see it's going to end up looking quite bland in the long run. But for right now, it's not looking too bad, and I think we'll also have a little bit of office space around here as well. So you can imagine, you know, a power plant would have offices. You know, paperwork needs to be processed, and there's kind of HR issues to worry about, and all this kind of stuff. So we're getting some nice. I think that's an appropriate industrial building coming in right now. Just make sure that our interchanges are coping okay with this new influx of very heavy traffic. Seems to be okay. So I wonder right now if we even need an option to get onto the highway from here. I'm honestly not really sure that we do. That seems to be coping okay. Okay, and unfortunately during the live stream, our university failed to hit the number of students again. So it's so annoying. So like, we have way more capacity than we actually need, but it's just trying to get them to come in. See if there's got anything else we can add into this thing to get people to come. Again, you know, we're going to unlock some pretty cool buildings like the IT club and the commencement office and auditorium, laboratories, bookstore, and trade school media labs to add into this campus yet, which is going to make this place look really special. Of course, we just need to actually hit that. So this is the kind of thing I'm talking about, you know, a couple of office buildings that just pop up, and you've got all these kind of stuff here, so it's really kind of adding to this very specifically themed area of what we're trying to go for. And of course we need some fencing. For those of you that have watched my Let's Plays for a while, you will know that I do like my fencing. Okay, let's work on our little Alcatraz island for a little bit. I'll probably call the episode there. It's going to be a short one today, unfortunately. But I am actually heading out this Saturday evening, so you guys will have to make do with this, I'm afraid. I think I'm going to keep this relatively square. Let's go ahead and terraform a little bit. Let's go ahead like this and kind of bring it out in as much square fashion as I can materialize. Let's bring it up on a straight edge, just like this, as best we can. This area of the island can remain uninhabited. Okay, just kind of plan out what I want to do here. Brush size, delete all this, delete all the rocks. Okay, a bit more around here. Okay. Let's go to our terrain tools and go to soften terrain. I just want to kind of smooth all this area out a little bit, alongside these slopes here as well. But we will actually make those areas a little more cliff-sidey. And just work with our slope tool here, and then I want these kind of banking of the island to be cut right in against the quay. You know, this is a very kind of high security island. No one can just kind of swim up to this thing and get in. This is going to be our prison island. Yeah, let's go ahead and tweak that one a little bit. So be careful, and we can press Control Z with the better landscaping tools, and it will just kind of rectify any mistakes that you make. Okay, we've got a little bit of a dip here, but I think that kind of sits in with the columns of the bridge. I'm not too bothered about that. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab. Can actually come up here. Might be cool to have this as like an elevated section of road as you approach the prison, so it's like even more secure. No one can just run onto the road. It is elevated up. And High Gardens has reached level 1, which has unlocked a climbing frame for us. That's very special indeed. Let's bring this through, and then you can come down just like this. So this was a comment from Jaseph, a subscriber of the channel. Thank you very much, dude. I hope you are appreciating the design here of what we're trying to go for. And don't forget, if you are a viewer, you can also have your ideas implemented into this city as well. Okay, so we're not really snapping to the angle here. I'm going to get this very rigid. There we go. And then we can just cut straight across like that. So that's going to give us a nice little box to work with. And then we come into our prison, our police stuff. And we have a couple of new buildings here as well. So we have the prison, which just can't fit in, unfortunately. But it should be able to if we just close some room out for it. Okay. So this thing is obviously a prison. It's going to hold our prison inmates and also provide a police service to various things. So, oh, this tunnel is flooded. I wonder if that's because we just terraformed a little bit. Now we can sort that out in a moment. It's no big issue. Obviously this thing is going to need water as well. So make sure this island is watered in both directions. And then maybe we can bring him a new line off of our new transformer grid. Let's try and give it a little bit of purpose. Maybe a little bit sooner than that, so we don't hit the bridges of that interchange. There. Okay, let's have a look at that other building we had, which was a police helicopter depot. Now I think this comes with the Natural Disasters DLC, I could be wrong. I think we're going to have a road running directly adjacent to this little elevated one and see if we can squeeze it in here. It looks as though we can. Okay, so I actually don't know what this does. Let's find out together. So police helicopters reside at the police helicopter depot, obviously. This depot sends helicopters out to patrol the city. Patrolling helps keep lower crime rate. At the end of a shift, helicopters will return to the depot. And there they go, flying around the city. Very cool. Okay, and I think it would be a good idea to have maybe some police headquarters on this island as well. It kind of fits in with the theme nicely. And maybe, just maybe, Can we get one of these in here? No, not quite. Oh, yes, we can. I'm going to pop a little warehouse in here, and this can store whatever. This road doesn't matter. Animal products. So maybe this could be like a little bit of a storage facility for the prison. I think that would make a bit of sense. And then again, of course, this has been a very fence-heavy episode. We also want the prison to have essentially like a second border around it. Just kind of come around the pylon there. Okay. And this guy will also need power as well. Thankfully he can be hooked up with relative ease. He says not being able to hook it up. Let's kind of find out that the terrain and the roads here are getting a little bit crazy. And see where we can drag in a power line here. Then we are going to have to move up an elevation step. Yep, there we go. And that's going to allow us to get across. Okay, and I think again for this island, let's go ahead and drop in another road and have a little bit of office space, I think. And then over here as well. And then possibly here. So, you know, obviously the prison would have other supporting buildings around it. Let's see what kind of buildings we get growing in here. Yeah, okay, that clown statue isn't really what I wanted on the top, but you kind of get the general idea of how this works. And that's going to give us a nice little tasty prison island. I'm happy with that, I think. So that is going to leave it there for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the episode. I think it's a pretty short one. But like I said, you know, I wanted to get something out for the Saturday night. Really liking the series so far. I'm going to go ahead and move the remaining garbage dumps over here on camera once they finish emptying out and fleshing out the incinerator and recycling zones as well. And that's going to give us a nice, effective garbage processing district. And we can also apply some policies here, which I'll have a look at off camera as well, and then we can discuss them next episode. Otherwise, guys, I'll leave you with the old classic outro tag of what we've worked on today. If you enjoyed the video, a like is very much appreciated, and equally as much if you didn't enjoy it, please feel free to leave a dislike as well. I know some of you aren't hugely keen on these industrial episodes, so sorry if you didn't enjoy it, but it has to be done at some point. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.